channel. In today's video, we are going to break down one of the most powerful and modern architecture to build scalable applications. Serverless architecture using microservices on AWS, specifically with API Gateway and Lambda functions. Now, traditionally, when we built the applications, we had to manage the servers. We had to provision them, scale them, maintain them, and paying for them even when they were idle. But with serverless architecture, all of that changes. In a serverless architecture, you don't manage servers at all. Instead, you write small focused piece of code called functions, and the cloud provider runs them for you only when needed. On AWS, this is done using Lambda functions. To expose these functions as APIs, we use API Gateway. It acts as the entry point. It receives the requests from the users and routes them to the right Lambda function, as you can see in the diagram. When we combine this with a microservices approach, each function represents a small independent service. For example, one Lambda function that handles the user authentication, another processes payments, another manages orders. Each service is isolated, independently deployable, scalable, and maintained. So instead of one big monolithic application, you have multiple small services working together, making the system more flexible and resilient. And also some advantages of serverless architecture. You only pay for what you use, no idle server costs. It handles the automatic scaling. AWS handles the traffic spikes seamlessly. Faster development, high availability, and easy to maintain code base. Now we'll quickly jump into the AWS console and deploy these resources. Let's begin by creating our resources for this API Gateway and the Lambda function. We go to the console home, we go to Lambda. Here we create a function because we are building it from the scratch. Author it from the scratch, give function a name, select the runtime. I'm using Node.js, and then we create function. This takes a little bit of time because it loads the editor. While this is loading, let's copy the JSON which we will be using in our return response. So this is the default code that we get. And then we modify it with our response. We only change this JSON object in this response, rest we remain the same. Since this is where we are returning the orders list, so it is an array of orders. We have added the code. Let's deploy. Right, so our Lambda function is deployed. Now we go back to our API gateway. Here we create the API. Since we are working with RESTful APIs, we select the option REST APIs, click on build. Since this is a new API, we select new API, give it a name, give some description if required. We don't need to make any changes here. Our endpoints are regional, and we don't need to add any security policy also. We create the API which creates the default root resource. Now we create our resource orders. Under the orders resource, we create the method. Since we are returning the data, we select the get method, select the Lambda function, the name of our Lambda function. All the Lambda functions will be listed down over here, and then we can select one of those which we need to connect with our API. Create method, and now the API is there. Now we deploy this API. Since it is a new stage, we select development. There are different stages of the APIs, like is it in dev mode, UAT, staging, production. So since this is our just for development, we give the name as development. You can give any name. And now our development API has been deployed. This is the URL of our API. We copy this, we paste it in our browser, and we'll see it has returned the same array of orders which we returned from our Lambda function. So this is how we can create RESTful APIs using Lambda functions and deploy it and make them accessible as RESTful APIs using API Gateway. Hope you have liked it, and do give comments. Um, if you like the video, hit the like button. Do subscribe to my channel for the latest updates. Thank you.